My name is Daniel Reeves, and for almost 6 months, I worked the overnight shift at a 24-hour gym in Dallas, Texas called Iron Titan Fitness. During the day, the place was packed with people chasing the perfect body. Athletes, influencers filming workout videos, construction workers trying to stay in shape, and college kids blasting music through their headphones while lifting weights. But after midnight, the gym transformed into something completely different. The bright lights felt colder, the air felt heavier, and every sound echoed through the empty building. My job was simple: sit at the front desk, clean the equipment, and keep an eye on the security monitors. Most nights were painfully boring, and I usually spent hours scrolling through my phone while the vending machine hummed quietly behind me. But everything changed one night in late October, a night I will never forget as long as I live. It was around 2:15 a.m. when the automatic glass doors slid open and a man walked inside. That alone was strange because almost nobody came to the gym that late, especially on a weekday. The man was extremely tall, easily over 6'4", with massive shoulders that stretched the fabric of his dark hoodie. His head was lowered, so I couldn't see his face clearly. Without saying a word, he pulled a membership card from his pocket and scanned it at the entrance gate. The machine beeped, and he walked past me without even glancing in my direction. Something about his presence immediately made the room feel colder. I looked at the computer screen where the member information appeared. The name read, Adam Voss. The name felt strangely familiar, but I couldn't remember why. The man walked straight toward the free weights section and sat down at the bench press station. A few seconds later, I heard the sound that defines every gym in America, the heavy clank of metal plates sliding onto a barbell. Then, the lifting began. At first, it seemed completely normal. Down, up, down, up. The steady rhythm of someone doing a serious workout. I returned to the desk and tried to ignore it, but after nearly 20 minutes, something started bothering me. The sound had never stopped. Most people lift for a few seconds and then rest, but this man had been pressing the bar continuously the entire time. I walked over to the weight room to check on him. When I got closer, I noticed something disturbing. His movements were perfectly mechanical, almost unnatural. The bar moved down to his chest and back up again at exactly the same speed every single time. His breathing was loud but steady, like a machine pumping air through metal lungs. I tried to sound casual and said, "Hey man, you might want to take a break. That's a lot of reps." The man slowly turned his head toward me. When the light finally hit his face, I felt a cold wave run through my body. His skin was pale gray like stone, and his eyes looked completely black, as if the pupils had swallowed the whites entirely. Across his chest was a deep purple indentation exactly where the barbell touched him every time it lowered. He didn't speak. He simply stared at me for a few seconds before turning back to the bar and continuing the lift. Down, up, down, up. I felt extremely uncomfortable and returned to the front desk. Something about that man wasn't right, so I opened the membership database on the computer and searched his name. When the profile appeared, my stomach dropped. Under the status column, it said one word: deceased. My hands began to shake as I opened the attached incident report from several years earlier. According to the report, Adam Voss had been a competitive bodybuilder who trained obsessively at Iron Titan Gym. One night, he attempted a massive bench press with over 400 pounds on the bar and refused to ask for a spotter. During the lift, the bar slipped and crushed his chest. By the time staff found him the next morning, he was already dead. I stared at the screen in disbelief and slowly turned my head toward the weight room. I could still hear the metal bar slamming lightly against the rack as the man continued lifting. My mind struggled to understand how someone listed as dead could be inside the gym. I decided to check the security cameras. Camera 6 showed the bench press station clearly, but the footage made my heart nearly stop. The bench press bar was moving exactly as I heard it, rising and falling again and again, yet the bench itself was completely empty. No one was there. The bar appeared to be lifting itself. I looked away from the monitor and toward the real weight room again. The huge man was still there, still lifting. When I looked back at the screen, he suddenly stopped. Slowly, his head turned toward the camera lens and his dark eyes locked directly onto it. Then he smiled. It was the kind of smile that makes your entire body feel like it wants to run away. A few minutes later, the lifting finally stopped. The man sat up and walked toward the locker room without looking at me. I heard the locker room door slam and then a loud crash of metal echoing from inside. I grabbed a flashlight and walked carefully toward the sound. The fluorescent lights flickered above me as I entered the locker room. Everything looked normal, except for one locker that kept opening and closing by itself with a slow creaking noise. I stepped closer and pulled it open. Inside was an old gym bag covered in dust as if it had been sitting there for years. I unzipped it and found lifting gloves, an old protein shaker, and a folded newspaper clipping. The headline read, "Local bodybuilder dies during record attempt." Beneath the headline was a photo of Adam Voss, the same man who had just been lifting in the gym minutes earlier. Suddenly, I heard breathing behind me, slow, heavy breathing, like someone who had just finished an intense workout. I turned around, but the room was empty. Then I looked into the mirror across the locker room. In the reflection, I saw him standing directly behind me. His body looked wrong somehow, twisted and slightly bent forward like the weight of the barbell was still pressing into his chest. When I spun around again, he was gone. I ran back into the main gym area, my heart racing. The entire building suddenly felt much darker than before. I glanced at the clock above the front desk. 3:32 a.m. The gym lights flickered once, and then the entire building fell silent. Even the humming lights stopped buzzing. The digital clock changed to 3:33 a.m. In that exact moment, every machine in the gym turned on by itself. Treadmills roared to life. Rowing machines began sliding back and forth, and the bench press bar started rising and falling again with violent force. The bar was bending now, as if something unbelievably heavy was pushing down on it. Then I heard a whisper directly behind my ear. Two simple words spoken in a deep, broken voice. "Spot me." I turned slowly and saw Adam Voss standing in the center of the gym floor. His chest was crushed inward and dark veins covered his arms like spreading cracks in stone. Without speaking, he pointed toward the bench press. The bar suddenly filled with more plates, as if invisible hands were loading them one by one. 4 plates, 6 plates, 8 plates, 10 plates. The bar bent downward under the impossible weight. Adam lay down on the bench and gripped the bar. His black eyes stared directly into mine. The bar slowly lowered toward his chest and stopped halfway, as if something prevented it from moving. His mouth opened, and the whisper came again, louder this time. "Spot me." My entire body felt frozen, but somehow my legs started moving toward the bench. The air around him felt freezing cold, as if the gym had become a giant refrigerator. The bar trembled violently in his hands. If it fell, it would crush him again, exactly the way it had years ago. I stepped closer and grabbed the barbell. The metal was ice cold and far heavier than it should have been. Adam's eyes widened as we pushed together. Slowly, the bar rose inch by inch until it locked into the rack above us. For a moment, I looked into the mirror across the locker room. Silent. In the reflection,
Adam sat
I
up
saw him
slowly
standing
and leaned close
directly
enough that I
behind
could
me.
feel his cold
His
breath
body
against
looked
my
wrong
ear.
somehow, twisted and slightly bent forward like the weight of the barbell was still pressing into his chest. When I spun around again, he was gone. I ran back into the main gym area, my heart racing. The entire building suddenly felt much darker than before. I glanced at the clock above the front desk. 3:32 a.m. The gym lights flickered once, and then the entire building fell silent. Even the humming lights stopped buzzing. The digital clock changed to 3:33 a.m. In that exact moment, every machine in the gym turned on by itself. Treadmills roared to life, rowing machines began sliding back and forth, and the bench press bar started rising and falling again with violent force. The bar was bending now, as if something unbelievably heavy was pushing down on it. Then I heard a whisper directly behind my ear. Two simple words spoken in a deep, broken voice. "Spot me." I turned slowly and saw Adam Voss standing in the center of the gym floor. His chest was crushed inward and dark veins covered his arms like spreading cracks in stone. Without speaking, he pointed toward the bench press